I got 2 sticks of 4-inch pipe out and set them up out here. I dug them out of the pile the other day and brought them down here, but I just brought them out to where I could work on them now. I've got them set up on my sawhorses, my work horses, whatever they are, and the forks on the forklift to hold them up. They had ice on them and mud on them, and they were all chunked up and wet, and we had a little bit of sun on them for a few minutes to help dry them out a little bit. But I took the rosebud on the oxyacetylene torch and stuck in the end of both of them and let the heat flow through them to help dry them out a little bit. Probably have to do that some more, but I wanted to get the outside of them dry so I can run a wire brush over it. So now that's what I'm going to do now. I started with the wire brush here on this outside one, and I'll get it done and roll it a little bit and get the mud and the crap cleaned off of it, and then I'll mark it where I'm going to cut it. I want 2 of these 9 feet, and I think the third one has got to be 10 feet, and then they'll be trimmed off to finish size once they're set in the concrete and the concrete's cured enough to figure out what the finish height of them is. But this is a start. I'll get these cleaned up and then I'll cut them. I've got this first pipe about half done, a little more than half done. That second one's going to take some more on it because it's set down in the dirt a little bit more than this one, and it's pitted quite a bit more, quite a bit rustier. Well, I had the sunshine on this for about an hour, maybe a little less. It went away about a little after 1, and now it's down, not over the mountains yet, it's not dark yet, but it's 2:15, and the sun's been gone for a while. Temperature's starting to drop. I had to quit for a few minutes and go get a long john shirt on. I've got a fairly heavy flannel shirt and a wool vest, and they're fine for most of the time, but it just started cooling off too much and I started getting chilled, so I had to quit and go in and get a long john top on. Well, I got about another hour of working light here before it gets too dark to do anything, so hopefully I can get both of these done, but I'll get this one done anyway. Got these both wire brush now pretty well cleaned up. Not sure exactly if I got this last one completely done or not. It just got too dark. It's 3:30, and it looks like it's pretty good, but I'll be able to tell tomorrow in the daylight whether I need to do any more to it or not, but I think I got it pretty good. Yesterday. Well, it hasn't, but it's not warming up either. You got high overcast overnight, and the temperature dropped down to about 28 or so Fahrenheit. It's only come up to just about 29 or 30 now, and it's supposed to, I can see a little bit of blue sky up there, but the clouds are starting to move from the southeast, so it's supposed to start raining tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be all done with this portion of it by then. Well, I've got these, I get these marked, and I'll change over my rosebud over to my cutting torch and cut those off. I'd measured those off from the bottom of those footings up to approximately where the posts are going to go, and figured 9 feet. But it was kind of a rough measurement. It's got to go up to the bottom of the sill plate and then down a foot from there, because I'm going to have a 6-inch I-beam on top of these posts, and then the stringers to go back across to the house are going to be 6 inches too, so that'll be a foot down. But I'm going to go ahead and cut these off at 10 feet just to make sure I've got plenty. And once I get them stuck up there and the footing poured, cement cured, then I'll probably have to measure them out and cut them off to the exact height that they go. So these are a little bit damp from sitting overnight. Well, soapstone doesn't want to make a good mark on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my torch and heat that up, dry it out, and then I'll make my soapstone mark on there. All I'm doing is just got enough heat on there to dry this pipe out. I'm not trying to get a balanced flame on there yet for cut. It doesn't really matter how straight I make these cuts or how nice I make them, because the end that's chopped off, that's burred up and crappy looking, I can always put down in the ground. But I want to practice on these and make them as nice as possible. Oh, I got a hose clamp here. I'll just wrap around there and then use that for a guide for my soapstone. I'll go ahead and cut those off. See how much damage I can cause. Look really good, pretty darn straight. Okay, I'm happy with those. So I got two 10 feet and two 11 feet. One 11 feet will go back into my pile, be saved for another day. I'll put the 11-foot one up on the lower end and the two 10-feet ones up on the upper two. I've got these pieces of rebar here. I've got some more up above that are a little bigger. But I want to weld these on to the bottoms of these tubes here, like that, maybe like that, to add some strength to the concrete, to the cement, and to make this get stuck in. We got all these preformed pieces. When they built the swimming pool here a few years ago, some of the stuff that they got was all preformed, and it was formed wrong, so they wound up getting a second order, and they wound up getting a double order. So there's a whole bunch of rebar left over of all kinds of different shapes and stuff, and rather than them paying to send that stuff to the dump, they give it to us, and we've got it stacked up out here, so we use it in different jobs. You know, it's gotten kind of rusty, so I have to take a wire brush to it, clean it up a little bit, and I think I'll drag the welder out here and weld those on in kind of fingers sticking out both ways, and that'll make them stick in the concrete better and give the concrete some more strength. I've got the first piece of pipe set up to weld the rebar on. Now I'm going to just hold this on by hand and tack them on, weld them up with a wire feed welder. I'm going to weld them on opposite like that. And so there'll be two sticking out that way and then two sticking out this way. I cleaned those up down to bare metal. I cleaned the pipe up down to bare metal with a wire wheel, and then cleaned up just the corners of these rebar. They're pretty rusty. They've been sitting out in the weather for a while, but they cleaned up pretty easy. I did more on this first one than I needed to. Well, after I got that one, then I just wound up cleaning the corners where the welds are going to be. The sun actually came out here a little bit for a few minutes. It's still kind of filtered through the clouds, but I didn't expect it to come out at all today, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to have lots of trouble with my goggles fogging up today. Okay, 3 more to do here. That'll work. Yep, that'll work. Here's my first column done. I've got the rebar welded on, going around in a circle on that. So that should help strengthen up the cement, the concrete. I'll put some more rebar in there too, some pieces, vertical pieces or something. But that should strengthen it up and tie it in better into these columns. Oh, this one is 11-foot column. This is another 11-foot piece. I'm going to take these up and dump this one up by the house, and then take this one up and put it in the pile with the rest of the steel, and then I'll work on those other 2 pieces. Well, I got the rebar welded on these other 2 columns. I was hoping I'd get done in time to get these up there and start getting them set up, get one of them set up in the form anyway, get it vertical and anchored out so I can use it for a anchor for the other 2, you know, to measure off of and to get them anchored up to it. But it's already 3 o'clock. It'll be dark here in about 15 minutes, which doesn't give me enough time to get everything set up the way I want to get that one put in there. But I'll take these up there and see what I can do with it and get them laid out up there. Didn't get quite as much done today as I'd hoped, even though I got an earlier start. I didn't have to work so hard getting the fires going this morning. I stayed up late last night, or come out late last night and stoked them again, so there was still a little bit of fire left in the stoves. You know, it didn't take so much to get them going. Still takes time to get the machinery warmed up and stuff. So anyway, we did get all 3 of them, the rebar welded up on all 3 of them. We got them cut to length and the rebar welded on them, so that's a good start. Now it's supposed to warm up now tomorrow. It's supposed to get cold again tonight, and then warm up tomorrow, and then start warming up after that and rain. So we'll see how much rain it does. Hopefully it'll give me enough of a break that I can get this stuff put together. So the next step is to get it all up there, get these columns set in the forms, and get them vertical, make sure that they're plumb and the right distance apart and everything.